Good evening. Today was a very important day in India. Two things happened today. One was the reversal of the retrospective tax. Retrospective tax, or what is known as Hutchinson tax, was one of the major mistakes made by the UPA government, which had to be reversed. What it did is it basically taxed people even before the tax came in. What was this? Deals like Hutchinson and Kane. Hutchinson was a company based in Hong Kong which owned Hutch in India. It sold its stake for several $billions to Vodafone. Though the business was based in India and lot of value was generated out of the India business, since the businesses were registered outside India, both the buyer and seller were outside India, the sale concluded and billions of dollars went and government of India could not tax it. The entire value was created based on the Indian demography and the size of the Indian market and the fact that the Hutch had developed its big brand based on that. The government of India tried everything and it went to court. The Supreme Court finally ruled in favor of Hutchinson. The court said that morally the government was right, but by law there is no such existence that you cannot tax a transaction which has taken place outside the borders of the country, even if the underlying businesses are in India. Then Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, who was the finance minister, raged at it and did one of the worst blunders of his life. In 2012 budget, he did a very disastrous thing. He introduced a law to tax this kind of transactions where he said if more than 50% of the total business takes place in India, then the government of India could tax such transactions. There was no problem with the law. But what happened next was the most dangerous thing. In the budget, he said this law would come retrospectively from 1962. Then Income Tax Act came into picture. So any deal that took place from 1962, where the underlying business was in India, even if the companies were registered outside, could be taxed in India. There were two companies which were broadly targeted. One is the Hutchinson tax, Vodafone tax, and the other was the Kane tax. In case of Kane Worldwide had a small business interest in Kane India. The government went out of its way to seize their Indian assets and appropriated its shares, took money out of it. Kane retaliated by going for arbitration in Netherlands and won the arbitration. Arbitration court decided in its favor. Once the decision was made, Kane moved to New York to attach Air India's assets. Also, it moved to in Paris to attach assets belonging to Indian consul generals, that is basically Indian property abroad, and said these are mortgaged to it. Faced with such embarrassment, the government had to react. Kane was always willing to come to the talking table. They could have come to the table, sat with them, and sorted out the problems. But that meant some money would have to be repaid to Kane. The government was not willing to do it, and it has gone on appeal. The appeal is on very weak grounds, and at most probably the appeal will be dismissed. So, the government has lost enormous face because in the manifesto of both the Congress party and the BJP, they promised in 2014 they would repeal this act. 2014 came and went, 2019 came and went, and still now this law has not been scrapped because whatever may be in opposition, when in power, government needs revenue and was too lucrative to let go. Finally, after the way the courts have reacted across the world, the government was left with no choice but to move with a bill that would repeal the act. What it says is, from the day it was passed in 2012, any such deal between two foreign bodies, if the underlying asset business is more than 50% in India, then it is subjected to Indian tax laws. This is legal, morally correct, and the what government did previously was incorrect and immoral. This Modi government has corrected a historic wrong. Now it has to go to sit with a round table, discuss with Kane, and sort out this problem so that our fair name is not tarnished. There is another important development that took place today. There was a new monetary policy. But as I have said several times, Shaktikanta Das is the least independent of all the RBI directors we have ever had since C. Rangarajan. His hands are tied and he acts like a puppet to the government. There has been inflation raging in the country. Over the last 20 months, 13 months have been more than 6% of inflation. The last 2 months, inflation has been raging at 6.3, and 6.26. Fuel prices are continuing to rise. Cooking oil prices have gone up. Cooking gas prices have gone up. Most people are working at half salaries or salaries lesser than half, and many have become unemployed. This inflation has become intolerable. In spite of that, Mr. Das maintains that this inflation is a transitionary hump and we will go past it. But if it is a transitionary hump, he didn't show it, because when he reversed the figures, he said average inflation for this year would go from 5.1 all the way up to 5.7. If this is a transitionary jump and it's going to be a blip that lasts only 2 months, then why revise the projection from 5.1 to 5.7? In spite of one member of the MPC voting against this, the governor has maintained an accommodative policy in which they are going to support the government in trying to revive growth. Shaktikant Das claims that there is a nascent recovery and that has to be supported. These arguments are very familiar and have happened in the developed world in the late 60s and 70s. This led to a runaway inflation, and that could not be controlled by normal rises in interest rates. It required Paul Volcker to come and really increase interest rates to 20% before the genie of inflation could be put back into the bottle. By ignoring clear warning signs of inflation, some of which is imported, Shaktikanta Das is doing what Arthur Burns did many years ago, ignoring inflationary warnings. There are several things he can do to sound hawkish without actually doing anything. The fact he has chosen not to do means that he has surrendered to the executive. Thank you for watching. Be rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.